It's a great place. It's a hometown. It can be your hometown if you're looking for a hometown. You know, we accept people with open arms.
You know, you can walk out of your loft apartment, go down and get a cup of coffee and walk back up, do some work. You know, then you can go to Grant's at night. You know, and never have to even get in your car.
There are some people here who, you know, some of us are transplants. Maybe we didn't grow up here, but we've made it our home. I definitely call this my hometown. I love this city.
One of the interesting things as I've learned as a historian about Harriet Tubman is that we're all very familiar with her work on the Underground Railroad, her work to free hundreds actually of slaves and take them to freedom. But she did a lot of other work too. During the Civil War, she was a cook, a nurse, and a spy. Well, I think if you look at her historical photographs, and you see it depicted in a lot of the art that we have that references her life and her impact, that kind of steely determination, that courage, that kind of approach not to back down despite danger, and to really swim against the tide almost. Our focus is African American now, is African American art, history, and culture. And because of that combination, we're really distinctive. We're the largest museum of our type in all of the Southeast and one of the largest in the nation. What we provide really helps people understand the contributions that were made by African Americans, those known and those lesser known, both locally and nationally and internationally. We can't make slavery taboo. You can't, it'd be like denying the Holocaust. What is the goal there? And just trying to say it never existed or it doesn't have an impact anymore, and I don't think that's what education is about. I think we have to get beyond what used to be the role of the museum was, we have the nicest collection of this silverware anywhere, lay it out here for you so you can look at it. No, people now want the story. They want to know, what does this mean? Why should I be interested in it? What contemporary relevance does it? And make it entertaining, not just, you know, dry and academic.
You know, my wife and I had kids less than 5 years ago. And that was the first time that we were aware that we needed places to go and gather with our friends where our kids could hang out. You don't always feel comfortable taking your kids into a restaurant because naturally they make a mess, right? Well, here I think they're welcome to run around. There's not much they can break here. And mom and dad can have a good time too. You know, we have a lot of different events for kids. We have magicians, we have pottery classes. You know, meanwhile, mom and dad can have a glass of wine. I just think Macon's got this thing, right? I think, you know, I told you the other day, you know, when I think about Macon, I think about Little Richard. I think he kind of exemplifies the spirit that still lives here today. And that, you know, that whole to thine own self be true. There's just so many kind of people that not only exist here, but thrive here. And I think, you know, we have this one thing in common, that we hope for the best for our city. Most of us do everything we can to help that vision come to life. You know, you're just as likely to run into like a former horn player for Otis Redding as you are, you know, some country club guy, you know, dressed like an ice cream cone that, you know, makes $500,000 a year going to eat at some fancy place. And I like that. I like that about Macon.
The big house is the house where the Allman Brothers lived, worked, and played. They all moved here in 1970. The Allman Brothers Band was really the premier Southern rock band of the late 60s and early 70s. So several of the band members lived here with their families, but this is also the hub of their operations from 1970 and 1973, the first formative years of the band. So they did a lot of their business here. They wrote many of their first hits here. This was where everything happened for them. Well, the big house is just that. It is a big house. There are 3 floors in this building. So on the first floor we have memorabilia from the band, you know, a timeline of their tenure as a band. But on the second floor we have redone it to make it look like some of the bedrooms when they lived here. So upstairs we have what Dwayne's bedroom looked like when he lived here, Barry Oakley's bedroom, some of their hangout spots. So there's lots of stuff to look at here. Well, Macon is a wonderful place for music. There's always something going on music-wise in town. We have festivals all year, there's many of those, but all the really great venues downtown have stuff going on all the time. And there's so many different kinds of music that people can get into and listen to, and it's just a good place for everybody if you're interested in music. Everyone is really friendly here. It's a great vibe, you know, to raise a family here or just to be by yourself.
Well, you're right here in the beautiful H&H, and we have a wall of fame, so to speak. Everybody that you see on the walls in here are associated with the Macon music scene and also associated with this restaurant. Soul food is a southern style of cooking that it starts with love, really. It comes with, you know, just whatever you got to make a meal and feed whoever you got. So that's kind of the, I guess the take of soul food in my eyes. We were a place that always welcomed everybody, and part of the reason that the Allman Brothers came here originally was that, you know, that was located right next to where Capricorn offices were. Mama Louise tells the story that, you know, she saw just a bunch of hippies walking her way and she didn't know what they wanted, and then walked outside to talk to them, and they asked for 2 plates, and they were going to split. That was all the money they had, was for 2 plates, and they were going to split it up between the 7 of them. And when she saw that, she told me that, you know, that they were skinny as a rail, they had to come in and eat. So she brought them in, and that started a relationship that she made a decision to really help out some kids, not knowing that she would ever get anything out of it. And, you know, from there on, they became one of the largest bands in the world. In just the past 12 months, we've had people from everywhere from Brazil, all over South America, Colombia, Argentina, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Japan, you kind of name it and they come. I am from Macon. I was actually born and raised right here. I grew up on the street right behind the H&H. I've been coming here since I can really ever remember. My father worked downtown when I was growing up, and being right down the street from the H, we would ride our bikes, and then Mama would give us biscuits on the back steps and lemonade if we were out and about and around. So it's a special place to me, and it's amazing how many people stay a couple days, and we'll see them a couple days later, and before they're leaving, and say, man, I checked your town out, and it's really amazing. The architecture, the music heritage, just the home feel. A lot of people that are from here, they leave and they say, oh, Macon always drags you back. Well, it's not that Macon drags you back, you just can't find any place like it.
We're at the L.H. Thompson Company and Thompson Bike Products. My parents founded the company in 1981. We started making machine parts for other companies. And in 1996, we started making our own line of bicycle parts. We export parts. We sell parts to Boeing in the United States, and our parts are flying on airplanes all over the world. And 737 is the most common airliner that Boeing sells. I believe they're up to a build rate of about 50 a month. For example, Southwest only flies 737s. The people behind me are assembling some of the parts we make for Boeing airplanes. These are jack shaft assemblies that are made from 3 forgings. This is one forging that's shaped like a hairdryer, a second forging, and these have the 3rd forging assembled onto them. One of these goes under the floor of each pilot in the cockpit. This is a newer assembly for us. It's the counterweight mechanism for a door on the 737. There are 3 outer springs and 3 inner springs that are made out of titanium. These are some bicycle parts. This is the clamp that holds your seat post in your bike frame. And this is some raw material that it comes out of. We use the same quality system with our bike parts as we do with our aerospace parts. We can track every bicycle part back to the batch of material it was made from. We sell a lot of bicycle parts in the United States, but we also have distributors in 34 countries. Our biggest countries outside the United States are England, Germany, and Japan. Biking is popular. There's several mountain bike trails around the area, and there's also one right behind our shop here, so about a 4 or 5 mile bicycle trail that anyone in the area can come ride or hike on. It's open to the public. You just have to sign a release and everyone's invited. Yeah, I love riding bikes. I rode a lot more before I had kids, but I still enjoy riding bicycles. Since we started making bicycle parts, I've actually been able to make a bike that fits me. I'm 6'6", and it's hard to find a bike that fits me. Macon is nice. There's not the traffic issues you have in a larger city, but there's still lots of stuff to do. The downtown area is really nice. There's lots of restaurants with sidewalk seating, and it's easy to walk from one restaurant to the other. It's an old-fashioned kind of downtown feel to the downtown area.
Here in Macon, Georgia, and when Dad got ready to open up grants, he sit all of us down and told us that he was getting ready to mortgage the house because he wanted to open up his own business, and that we were going to have to tighten our belts because he didn't know exactly what the outcome was going to be. So that's how he actually got started here by mortgaging our home.
Oh yeah, you know, now here at Grants, you know, it's come as you are, you know, everybody can let the hair down. You know, I'll say this to you, you know, it's interesting being here at Grants on any night because people are always coming in, hugging one another and having a good time, and it's beautiful. It really is. And this is on a regular basis. This is on a regular basis. So that's just what has been created here, and I give my dad credit for that.
Yes, because he had matches made when he first opened up, and actually I found a book of those matches a couple of years ago, and on there it says, "You are a stranger only but once." So I thought that was neat.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of the musicians will come here because it's a jam place. Let me tell you what a jam session is. See, so a jam session is when you get some great musicians on the stage. You don't know what they're going to play. They don't know what they're going to play. And they start. And an hour and a half later, you go, wow, never heard it before, and you'll never hear it again. And it's magical. So this is what we have going on at Grants on Wednesday and Sunday nights is a jam session. And everybody wants to come and be a part of that.
Leonard Skinner, he would come in and play. That was one of the loudest bands we've ever had here, but people enjoyed them, and it was just awesome. and you never know. You never know who's gonna come in, and they come in and come to the stage. Sometimes we have, right now, we have 25, 30 people that wanna play in one night, and it's hard to get them off the stage.
A lot of great musicians come in and for our jam sessions, and you can imagine what that would be like, you know, but with the music history here, and you know, as they say, the spirits of the music still in the place of Dwayne Allman and Greg Allman and, you know, and Dickie Betts and all that. And so we had one guy come through from Alaska. He just wanted to touch the outlet where Dickie Betts had plugged his guitar up. So, you know, one of the other interesting things, though, you know, is about how how bands first became integrated here in Macon, because that's what sort of brought the cultures together. You know, you had J-Mo, you know, the African-American drummer for the Allman Brothers, which was almost unheard of. And even the drummer that used to play for one of our groups, Jamal Thomas, Black Oak, Arkansas, picked him up out of Macon and took him back to Arkansas, you know, trying to sort of duplicate that, because they realized that when you start bringing these cultures of music together, you had a very, very magical thing to happen. So yeah, all that happened here at Grants. We're proud of that, yeah. In anticipation for precipitations that kids with a rainy day. Rain Man is back with Little Miss Sunshine. Rihanna, where you at? You have my heart, and we'll never be one.
Born and raised in Macon, Georgia, this radio station was one of the pioneers of my career, because I ran around and listened to the radio station. Never thought as a young kid that I would ever be on the radio, because it was such a huge deal, the radio in itself, and the people that worked at the radio station and the people that came to the radio station to blossom their careers. If it wasn't for the Macon community, we wouldn't have had the success. A lot of people in the industry believe that if you're not good in your own town, if you don't have fans in your own town, your hometown, then you're probably not good. I know, like, backyard bands and garage bands, they know what I mean by if you're not accepted by your peers, then it's kind of hard for a record label to believe in you, or other people from outside markets to believe in you, which makes radio so important. Because with music, if you're not ready to be a part of what was before you, you're not ready for music. If you can't respect the history and what came before you, then this ain't for you. You know, even the newest artists that's successful right now, I've interviewed them, I've talked to them on the radio. If I asked them what inspired them, 9 times out of 10, it was someone from their past that put an imprint on them and made them be who they are. Who we got online?
My name is Desiree.
Desiree.
Mm-hmm.
What song you want to hear?
I want to hear, is this Tech James?
This is Tech James, and I know you thinking Tech James is supposed to be on the radio right now.
Tech James booming, boom team booming.
97.9 IBBB booming, we be
booming, 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 booming.
Tech James booming, boom team booming. 97.9 IBBB booming, we be hey booming, hey booming, hey booming, hey booming, hey booming, hey booming.
The voice of the streets is here.
Tech James Radio.
On 97.9 WIBB.
And that's how it's done. And when I go to the schools, the kids sing the whole thing, man. It's crazy. I turn it on and they Tech James booming, boom team booming. It's like beautiful, man. I talk to the listeners as if they're my friends every time I crack the mic, because it's an ongoing conversation. I think that would make this 97.9 WIBB so local, because of some of the way the jocks speak to the people. Because IBB, in your mind, is local. It's the heart of the city. Like being a part of iHeartRadio in itself, this is a mega company, you know, and to be able to be talking on this microphone right now today, and you can hear me in a whole nother state, country, because of the internet and because of live streaming. It's crazy. It's huge. So, like, I feel like what the question you asked, to answer it, is there's no limit to where I can go now. But home for me is Macon, so people can relate to me. Like, you know, I can go to another state, another place, and do the same thing just as good, but being from Macon and people know he from here, kids saying he from here. I go to all the schools and talk to all the kids, and that's what I tell them. I'm from here also. I believed in me, you should believe in you, and you can be whoever you want to be. That's why Macon matters to me. Coming back to Macon and being on IBB, it matters to me because it was that goal that I set, and I completed that goal. Now I try to let myself be an example of you can do the same thing and reach that goal. That's why being in Macon is important. My message is I believe in me, and any way I can push that message around the whole world, because my mission statement is I believe in me and you should believe in you. If the world was more self-contained with believing in themselves instead of waiting on people to give them validation, I feel like the world would be a bigger place, a better place, and we wouldn't worry about some of the things we worry about. It's like Macon really is nothing like nowhere else you ever been. And if you go to the corner store or go downtown and grab something to eat, and you'll see it. Even the people who come here from other places, they become Macon in some sense. So you can notice it, like, yo, where you from? You from where? Like one of my PDs, he's been a lot of places. He was in the military, and he's been from Alaska to Alabama and everything. But he always say, man, I ain't never been nowhere like Macon, never. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right, because we got it. We got that it factor that make it Macon. I mean, look at all the artists that don't came through here and changed their life.
People in Macon fought back in the 30s to get this park established. And they felt that of course, at that time they only knew about the mounds. And they felt the mounds deserved to be a national park site. And so they lobbied very hard to get that done, and the park was established in 1936. The mound builders go back about 1,000 years ago. For example, our Earth Lodge floor was carbon dated to 1015. And so about 1,000 years ago is when we feel was the highlight of the mound building culture here. Estimates we hear for the village 1,000 years ago is around 2,000, 2,500 people. So this outside is a reconstruction. It's actually a concrete dome, which preserves the inside, but the inside is the original 1,000-year-old Earth Lodge floor. Kind of a low top, so I don't want to hit your head. But the floor, it was not carved out, it was built up. The floor is actually a kaolin clay that they would have brought in from down by the river, and then they built the floor up. When the mound builders were here, this mound would have been covered in bright red clay. You know, I've had people ask me, well, why don't you restore it that way? I go, well, unfortunately, after a rain, I don't have 2,500 people in my village that I can command, you know, go fix my clay.
Dad, why is there anything so tall?
Why is it so tall? Well, they were trying, they built this for the chief of the nation, the head of the nation, and they wanted this thing to be high enough to show him how important he was. And so this mound was built over 1,000 years ago.
Oh my goodness!
Long time ago. We are it. And actually, I have now lived in Macon longer than anywhere else my entire life. The locals talk about the Muscogee Curse. I'm not sure where that legend drew up, but supposedly the Muscogee Curse is that once you drink the water in Macon, you never want to leave. So maybe some truth to that.
We're here in Rose Hill Cemetery. We have 3 notable members of the Allman Brothers buried here, including the Allman Brothers themselves. And this place holds a lot of significance in the music world because not only are there graves here, there are places where they sat and wrote songs. Little Martha, Elizabeth Reed, they shot an album cover over near the Bond Monument on the other side of the cemetery by the river. And because of that, because of what this place offers, how beautiful it is, you can just feel it when you walk in here. We get people here from all over the world because music connects everyone. It's a language that we all speak. So easily, you know, around 30,000 people visit and come through here, you know, for different reasons, but really it's for what connects us all, which is connecting to our past, you know. We've got people who come literally from all over the world. I met a couple here from Australia one time who were visiting the States and wanted to come to Macon because the Allman Brothers are buried here. But you can learn something. There's different areas of this cemetery. There's the historically black cemetery where it used to be where they had to be buried. So Oak Ridge Cemetery, right, is part of it. There's a Hebrew cemetery, a Catholic area, Confederate area, and wherever you pick to sit, you're gonna see something beautiful, whether it's the river, some of the historical monuments that are just gorgeously crafted. It's just a sacred spot that offers a lot.